Hey. So, yeah, I just wanted to, I don't know why I had the urge to do this video. Well, I do know why I had the urge to do this video, but now that it's a few hours after I was thinking about doing the video, now I have less of an urge to make it, but I still kind of want to make it. Um, so I was thinking this morning, or earlier this morning, I guess, um, because this is just right now. This is just after I recorded like two videos, or technically like two videos, like almost 2.5 hours of just me recording and talking or whatever about on my other channel, the Let's Play series or whatever that I'm finally finishing one thing of that Let's Play series or that particular one for that game, and I was just doing that. But before that, I was thinking of recording something, just thinking about something I'd been feeling this afternoon or this morning, whatever, before I was during that recording session. It's funny, I knew this would happen, is that I'd be in the mood, quote unquote, the mood or whatever, to make one video, but then as soon as I got done with one, I wouldn't be in the mood for the other. And yeah, with the the, the light in the background, it's like what? It's basically 2 minutes away from 4 p.m. here. So the light is definitely kind of washing everything out there. But actually, what happens if I do this? Uh, yeah, that's a bit better, I guess. It's a little bit less overwhelming. Um, but so I was feeling like slightly, not so much like depressed, but kind of just like that kind of mindset where you're like in a kind of like in a kind of mood like that or whatever. And I was just thinking about the holidays or whatever, the holiday season, I guess. What was it going? Oh yeah, one thing I'll mention that I'm probably going to reduce the video quality or the actual like the resolution, I guess you could say, like really small in this video, because whenever I make these recordings with the camera where the camera is taking up the entire screen, this resolution, I guess you could say, takes up a massive amount, like, well, not like massive, but a lot bigger space than I like, and it takes way longer to upload and stuff like that. So just because it's such a big file, so I'm probably gonna this. I don't know what I'm gonna look like. I might look like a pixel man by the time that I reduce the thing, reduce it down. But it's probably gonna be reduced way down in resolution because I don't feel like waiting 2 hours for this crap to upload just for this one little one-off ramble kind of deal. Even though I always like having the webcam on when I can, just because I like recording my actual face and expressions and showing you and showing me or whatever, seeing me, and in that kind of way instead of just hearing the voice. I usually don't prefer that for most things. I think having the face means a lot, or having the actual person's body and everything means a lot more than just the voice. That's just me though. I don't know. Maybe I'm a narcissist. It's definitely possible. Um, but yeah, it was me. I was just feeling like, man, the way that the holidays are, just it's just such a not so much counterintuitive thing, but it just makes me think like it's so. That's what I was going to talk about. I was going to be talking like in a way that I was purposely like, not so much purposely, but just like at the time, I just felt like just sitting back, and I might maybe I'll do that in this video anyway, and just sitting back and just talking in a pretty monotone kind of like low energy voice, just kind of like that, maybe not even so much this, probably even less than this, but that kind of thing. And then when I recorded, I knew it would happen. When I recorded the actual Let's Play stuff I was talking about before, just Matt is right. When you have been recording or talking long enough, you do get almost like your attitude or whatever, your mood changes after you've been doing it for like so long or whatever, like an hour or 45 minutes, whatever crap. Like after that point, that's when your mood kind of changes to a more like kind of positive or higher energy kind of thing. I don't know. Maybe it's just that the time changed in the day. It's been a few hours or whatever. I don't know. But so I'm not necessarily in that kind of mood where I'm like really low energy and stuff, or like feeling like just kind of doing this. But maybe I will anyway. Maybe it won't be the genuine kind of reaction or emotions or whatever that I was trying to kind of convey or um capture. I guess you could say capture in that moment that I was in. But I think I still kind of have the topic at hand. I figure it's an interesting kind of topic, especially this time of the year or whatever. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate that are in this kind of fringe of society or whatever fringe of this reality kind of thing of the society. Um, but yeah, the thing just I just shut up and actually start talking about the kind of topic. Like I think everybody within this kind of like fringe or whatever these almost us kind of outcast kind of type whatever like I think we all kind of know or dislike or have some dislike or just negative kind of things towards the things like these holidays and stuff. And now I'll just kind of probably be going on the kind of ramble where I just kind of lay back and just maybe even close my eyes. But the thing that I always find annoying with the holidays is how everybody just it's like the most, besides with the BS, you know, play. I don't even know how to, I don't even feel like saying the hobo code crap for it, but the CV, besides the whole BS stuff with that, where the world showed and revealed itself fully in front of everybody, at least in our faces, how it is completely everybody on some kind of download, or almost everybody on some, basically everybody on kind of download frequency sort of deal, going along with a script or a general kind of thing, a general idea. I think it's unsurprising to say that the holidays are something very similar. They're like a much smaller but more frequent kind of cycle or sort of thing that comes around, that it's sort of the similar thing, like everybody just thinking or being pressured in a way to think the same way. Like I was, I guess, a little bit of story time. I was never that into the holidays. I liked Christmas and Halloween and stuff like that when I was like a pretty young kid. I did enjoy going and having, and our parents enjoyed it and stuff. I did enjoy during those years when people did this more. I mean, Halloween is basically like a joke of what it used to be. Like, almost nobody goes out compared to what it used to be. Almost nobody decorates. Almost nobody really gives a shit anymore about Halloween overall. It's just every year it gets lamer and lamer and less enthusiastic and less people going out, less kids going out to get candy and stuff. But years ago when I was a kid, I did enjoy Halloween quite a bit. I enjoyed that experience. My dad and my mom, whatever, they would bring us to, at least my dad remembers bringing us to Brooklyn or Staten Island in, near, like, not New York necessarily, but basically New York, Staten Island. In Brooklyn, he used to live there, and his parents and stuff like that used to live there. And we would go there, and they had all these suburbs, and people would, decorate their houses. There'd be so many people out during certain times of the day. Most houses would be given candy and everything, and it was fun. So I enjoyed that as a kid, and we did the same thing around here even, and when we were younger, same thing. It was fun, enjoyable, and all that. And Christmas was a similar thing. I was really excited for Christmas as a kid because I liked certain material things a lot more as a kid. I liked stuff like Pokemon cards. I liked Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I loved video games. I still love video games, obviously, but I loved video games when I was a kid, just as I do now. But more of a childlike kind of thing, obviously, when I was younger. But I liked the consoles. Our parents would spoil us to some of it, even outside of their means, and would get us like almost every console and stuff like that. Honestly, that we asked for, it was pretty crazy when I think about it. But Christmas was fun, and it was fun getting gifts and all that, and it was fun opening the gifts, and it was fun being excited for Christmas Day and all that stuff, the presents, and our parents liked to see that. They enjoyed that. But then eventually, you grow out of that kind of stuff, and it just becomes whatever. But probably, unlike most people, something that just becomes kind of whatever for probably most people as they get older, I guess, is it almost becomes like a negative. Not even just a whatever, it becomes onto the opposite um part of the spectrum, whatever. Instead of being a thing that's like positive as a kid on the good, oh, this is great kind of side, and then going to the neutral or whatever kind of middle side, I guess. Then it goes more to the negative, and that I think most people, probably not everybody, and even some of the normies probably feel the same thing. It's probably becoming even more common as time goes on, like a disdain for the holidays. But I'd say that, at least me, I'm not going to speak for any of you or whatever, but I'd say that a lot of people probably feel something kind of similar, where it's like, it annoys me after a while with these holidays. Like, it annoys me seeing the patterns of other people with the holidays. Like, seeing the download in action kind of deal, seeing the human download in action, where people just, it's similar to when it was annoying. It was very annoying initially seeing people wearing the face diaper, with this stupid CV crap at the beginning of all this. Like, everybody just started wearing the stupid face diaper and enforcing it on other people, kind of crap, pressuring others to do it. That was annoying to see. Seeing that kind of herd mentality, sheep mentality kind of crap. The frequency, or the download in action. It was obnoxious to see that. But I was just thinking before, and this is why I'm making this video, is that I feel it's kind of the similar thing with the holidays now. Is that whenever I see that the holidays, they just kind of put a pressure on other people to act in a certain way. Like, people, it feels super forced that people do, like, quote unquote, celebrate these stupid holidays. Like, they're not doing it because they want to, per se. Like, they wouldn't, if it wasn't on the calendar and if it wasn't shoved in their face all the time by other people and like corporations and other stuff like that, the other people, they probably wouldn't even realize it or even care that it's like, it's Christmas, or it's Thanksgiving, or it's Halloween, or it's Valentine's Day, or whatever crap. They individually would not care in the slightest. That's how I kind of look at it. But it's the pressure of the frequency of the download and others around them in the same way that causes them all to kind of, it feels so forced to see them all, quote unquote, celebrating it. Just because that's what they believe they are supposed to do, because that's what the calendar says. That's what the society at large says that they should do, is celebrate and all that crap, or quote unquote celebrate, or do these things that you do on the holidays, like going out and getting trampled by people on Black Friday and stuff like that. Not that people really do that probably that much anymore. They just go online and all that crap. But you get what I'm saying. Celebrating, going and seeing family, like, why, besides the shit with the wages, yes, I'm using that word now. Even though I do use the word a lot, but I try not to just be like a middle finger to the people that are working and stuff like that, because I know a lot of people feel that they need to and shit. But, and I'm in a situation where most people probably wouldn't be in this situation. Maybe not most people, but a lot of people might not feel they could be in this situation, I guess. So maybe I'm in a seat of privilege. But hey, I've chosen to be in this the way that I am. I've done the wagey shit, and I realized how much I despise it. I despised it. I could not live being a wagey like that. That just showed how little time each job I would be able to last before I was just going like nuts. But besides that, like, I see I see why um people would kind of do what they do or whatever, but it still would always annoy me to no end. Oh wait, I was gonna say, yeah, the story time. I enjoyed Christmas. I enjoyed that stuff, but there also does come a negative connotations for me because I was always more of a kind of reclusive type or whatever you want to say, like a more introverted. I think I'm like, I don't like to use the stupid psychological mainstream bullshit terms anyway, but I'm definitely more on the extroverted introvert kind of thing. I get drained by social interaction and I need to recharge my batteries, quote unquote, by being alone and having my privacy, being in solitude, that kind of thing. I enjoy social interaction. I do enjoy it a lot. I enjoy talking out, obviously, on my balls. That's a bad position. Um, I enjoy talking. I enjoy conversation a lot. I could go on for hours with people. I've done it so many times before. And but I don't generally like um long periods of time or social interaction, and I especially don't really have too much desire or want to hang out with my my family, like my close family. I hang out with all, like, when I say my close family, like my mom and my dad. That is my close family. My brother, he's out in like Nevada, like, pretty far from us, and I'm like completely disconnected from him at this point. Like, it's almost like a Mandela effect that after I've been waking up and he's been like out of the physical, like, he still talks to my parents a lot and he still tries to interact with me, but I don't really have anything in common with him anymore. I just he's just, to me, he's just so on a naive normie frequency that he just almost like annoys me to just like even consider him. But like, when I was a kid, I'm pretty sure that a lot of these things I would go to or be forced to as a kid go to. That's kind of the point I'm trying to make. But he would be involved in those. But over these years, I've just been completely like, my memory, like, it's going away from him. Like, I remember these things, but I don't recall him being in so many of them. It's so fucking weird. Like, he is actually being like erased from my memory in a weird way. But maybe that's not a bad thing because he does bother me. He is so on a normie frequency. I don't even want to be involved with him anymore in so many ways. But yeah, I do have an older brother. So that's my close family. My older brother, my mom, and my dad. That's my close family. And I talk to my mom and my dad. I try to avoid talking to my mom in a lot of ways. She acts like a fucking asshole so many of the times. But my dad, I talk to basically every day, sometimes hours at a time or whatever. So that's my close family, and I'm all right generally interacting with them. That's like, I do it all the time. But my more distant family, like, I'm not gonna say like distant, like my nephew's grandmother's nephew, that kind of shit. Not that distant, but like my family outside of my family, immediate family, whatever. Like my uncles and aunts and our aunts, whatever you want to say, my grandparents and shit like that. I generally was never too like, it's not that I wouldn't want to interact with them, but I was never that close to like my family. I never felt that kind of close connection. I never look at family in that way, like, especially now where I'm like, the blood doesn't mean shit. Like, your real family is the people that you consider your family, that you decide is your family, kind of thing. If you want to even have that word or whatever, like the people you're closest to. But my blood family, I was never like that. I was never like that recluse. Like, I completely avoided them. But for the most part, now that I have a choice, like when I was younger, my mom, she would fucking drag me around everywhere, man. Like, and I don't know if she did that because she was like actually worried that we would hurt ourselves by ourselves at home or some crap, or she felt like she needed to take us around everywhere. Me, most of the time as a kid, I just wanted to stay home because I would always be sick of school. I would always be sick of school, so I when I had those chances to be at home and play video games, I wanted to do that. But I would always be dragged around everywhere by her, especially, and my dad's side of the family. They would always be having parties and shit. So we'd always be going to parties that almost all of them I didn't want to go to, but I would always be forced to as a kid or whatever by my mom. Even if my dad said that, you know, he doesn't have to go, she would always say, no, he's going and all this shit. So many of these family events, gatherings, I got forced into when I didn't want to. Like, and even when I was in there, I would almost always isolate myself from everybody else to some extent. Like I didn't have anything in common with the mostly people that were older than me and adults and stuff at the time, because it's like, what the hell am I gonna what am I gonna talk to these people to, like, with or whatever? Like, there's nothing we had in common or interested or anything like that. It was just the same BS that they would talk about, kind of crap like sports and weather and bullshit, their wagey jobs or whatever horse shit that they would always be complaining about. I didn't have, and I would just kind of isolate and go somewhere. Like in my cousin's case, I would go up to his room and he would be doing whatever, and I would just go up to his room and just basically hide from everybody else, like just sleep, whatever, just to get the whole thing. And my mom was a fucking asshole. She would always be like the last. She'd be like we'd be like the first people there at the parties, and she'd be like the last people out. She'd be like 5 more minutes, and like 2 hours later, we're still fucking there. And the only thing that I really had was my mobile consoles at the time, stuff like my Game Boy and the Game Boy Advance especially, and my Game Boy DS. I think at that point I was probably old enough at that point for the most part where I probably wouldn't be going to a lot of these things. But yeah, I had those things to work with, which was great. I mean, that I had those because, oh man, it got me some. I got forced to stupid places like California I didn't want to go to. Washington, D.C., that fucking shithole. Got forced there and all these other places and that I didn't want to go to. But I guess I almost have like, not so much a trauma, but like I have that thing where I'm like, I don't, and now I just tell her, I'm like, no, I'm not going to this thing. Like just today they just went to a Christmas Eve, like not even a party, like with my mom's side, like uncle and stuff like at their house. And I'm like, well, I don't want to go there. It's fucking cold as shit out today. It's like 5 degrees Fahrenheit, like whatever. I think that's like -10 Celsius. It's fucking cold as shit out today. I don't feel like going up there for what? So they can drink? I don't like to drink. I don't want to be there. And I think, man, that whole fucking rant there about my childhood with all that kind of crap and how I am with like parties and visiting and shit like that and get-togethers. That's probably part of why I'm not a huge fan of the holidays, because now I'm just like, fuck it, I don't want to go. I'm not going, and I don't go, so I stay home and I just do whatever the fuck I want. But then I look at everybody else just thinking like, oh my, I just think like everybody just following the program that they're like, oh, I have to go and see my family that I don't even really give a shit about, that I just fake to care about for the stupid holidays and shit. And we have to go and eat and all this crap. Like, that's the falseness, the unauthenticity of the holidays that I look at, the point I'm trying to make, like how it is just like a program, these holidays. It's there almost to, I look at these holidays that they're almost there to break up the monotonous, basically empty lives of most people, because if they didn't have the holidays, every day would just blend into itself, which it already does to some extent, but it would do it even more because they wouldn't have these things to kind of break up that monotony. Because otherwise it'd just be like, to me, I look at every day as basically the same day. That's why the holidays, the birthdays, and all this bullshit, I don't care at all about, because I look at it as all the same stuff. Now, is that a negative way to look at it? Probably. Like I said, I liked the holidays when I was younger, but I don't care about them anymore. And I just look at it as a point of frustration somewhat frustration or annoyance or just like disgust. I'm like, oh my God, these NPCs, whatever, these fucking people, all just going along with this thing, even though they don't care about the holidays, the bullshit holidays at the end of the day. Like they don't care about these things. They're just told. They are told and they're programmed and they expect themselves, and they do that expectations to care about the holidays, to care about these things. Like, just go out to any of these places, like a dumpster or any shit like that, after these holidays, any of these holidays, and you just see all these stupid decorations that they brought, all this crap that they bought, just all in the trash, all this junk. Like, that's, I guess that's really the main point I was trying to make. It's just like people like me, I guess, or just maybe I'm just talking about myself. I don't know. I look at these holidays as such a joke, and I was feeling somewhat negative earlier, even though I may not have gotten the most authentic recreation of that kind of how I was feeling at that moment, since it was like a few hours earlier than I did some recording and all that. But I think I mostly got the main point across. Is like, isn't it funny how even these events that happen like in cycles, like the 7-Eleven job application, the CV crap, and all these events that happen like every, what is it, like 19 years? Yeah, it's like 19, 20 years or whatever crap, like whatever cycles these events seem to have, these world events bullshit having to go by. I look at these holidays as almost a lesser, more common thing like that, like the in-betweens, like every year. Oh yeah, every year we celebrate, yay, Merry Christmas. Like everybody has to say Merry Christmas. Every YouTuber has to make some YouTube or some Christmas themed bullshit or Halloween themed bullshit. Like in that recording I made, like I purposely did not say anything like that, like, oh yeah, Merry Christmas and all this shit, like Happy New Year's, because it's so, I just always feel that it is just so much of a download or a programmed thing. That's just me. I don't know. Maybe that's the Scrooge, that's the Grinch in me speaking, where I'm just like, these holidays are fucking bullshit. The calendar is fucking bullshit. It's there to make these people with these empty existences feel like they feel like they're having some variety in their existence, their empty existence, but they're really not. Like every holiday, it's like, oh yeah, we get to see the family and we get to eat the food and we get to do the Christmas things and yay. Like, the most disturbing thing is that, especially with something like Christmas, is that people don't even consider this. Like, apparently that's the part of the year that you want to give people gifts and give thanks with Thanksgiving and give gifts and all that shit. But then that, to me, that suggests, so does that mean every other time of the year, every other time of your existence, you would not want to be doing that unless you're being told to do that you should be doing that? Like, I never was into giving gifts, because I never was like, I would give gifts, not like, yeah, I was never just really not into giving gifts. I was never into receiving them either. Like, if I would almost never ask for a gift, but people would just give them to me, and it's like, what am I going to say, no? It's like, okay, I'll take it, but I don't care. I'm not going to reciprocate here. I don't give a shit. I don't care about gifts. I don't care about birthdays. I would never tell. I only tell my mom happy birthday because if I don't, she gets angry. So it's like, all right, fuck it. I'll tell you because I know what your reaction will be otherwise. So that I'm being forced to say happy birthday. Otherwise, I get a shit fucking attitude and anger directed at me. But otherwise, I wouldn't be telling like happy birthday and all this bullshit, or happy new year, or happy Merry Christmas. But it's just for others more than anything to go along, to get along in that case. But outside of that, I have no care and no interest in doing that stuff. But that's just me. Like, other people, they're the same goddamn way, but they fake it. Like, they wouldn't be giving gifts to people if they weren't being told to, that they're, oh, you're supposed to give gifts to people on Christmas, aren't you? You're supposed to give candy out during Halloween, aren't you? Like, and people would find it weird to be doing the same thing other parts of the year, or other parts of their lives or whatever, outside of the times they're told to do that. Like, especially for something like giving thanks. Like, shouldn't you be giving thanks every day that you wake up breathing, kind of thing, and every day that you see something nice, like a nice sunset or some shit, anything? Just appreciate anything. But apparently these people, these sheep, the NPCs of this reality or whatever, the non-player characters and even the other people that are, they're just a part of the downloader. They're going along with it still. they just they wouldn't be doing these things unless they were being told to do it. And that's the part that annoys me the most about it. Is like, yeah, that's kind of what these holidays they just show, is that it just shows more herd sheep mentality more than anything. Um and it doesn't it just shows that these people, they wouldn't be doing these things that are supposed to be quote unquote good things if they weren't being told to do it, which, yeah. um I probably didn't get across exactly how I wanted, but I think I got mostly what I wanted to get across. And this doesn't matter. This is more of a rant, ramble kind of thing. And that's just how I was feeling somewhat to some extent earlier, and I just wanted to get it out there, and maybe other people can. Well, I know other people can relate, but maybe other people can be comforted by the fact that somebody else feels similar or whatever. Their feelings are validated by somebody else feeling something similar, and seeing through the bullshit program download stuff that we all get from this. Um, but yeah, I guess that's all I wanted to really say in this kind of little rant ramble thing, but venting, I guess. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Thanks for watching. And have a good one.